Now, as we've been hearing throughout the program, Kabul's international airport has been a scene of panic as countries scramble to evacuate their diplomatic staff and thousands of Afghans attempt to flee. But not all civilians who show up at the airport will be allowed to leave the country. For more on this, I'm joined by our international affairs editor, Philip Turle. Philip, break it down for us. Who is allowed to leave Afghanistan right now?
Well, let's look at it this way round, shall we, Claire? This is more like, where does the responsibility of the international community lie when it comes to getting people out of Afghanistan? The number one responsibility is to get out their own foreign nationals. What I'm talking about here are embassy staff, diplomatic staff. For example, in the case of France, French workers, they are all given priority. They've all been contacted by the French authorities, told when to go to the airport, when to get on that plane. We even include journalists in this as well, who have been told that it's time to leave the country. They're the ones who are, let's say, the lucky ones getting out the easiest. Then in the second category, you have all of those people who have worked with foreign nationals in the country and who may face the brunt of retaliation from the Taliban later on because they're considered as being collaborators with the enemy. They have been underlined. The plight of these workers has been underlined by Emmanuel Macron, talking about translators, talking about car drivers, talking about chefs, who've all been working with French forces, with American forces. They need to be evacuated. They're given priority. In third place, you have the person we were just talking to, who has dual nationality. They are not priority for the moment. They're being put on standby and they're being told to wait. As to when and if and where they're going to be evacuated to, it still seems a little bit unclear. And then you have a fourth category, Claire, which really I think is one of the most tragic, and that is the family members of those who've already received asylum and who are living abroad. And, for example, here in France, under French law, you're allowed to repatriate from a country where you have lived and where you can no longer go because you have asylum elsewhere. You can repatriate your wife, your children, your husband to the country where you are. And many Afghans living in France have made these requests, but due to bomb attacks in the green zone, the advent of the coronavirus, the fact that the embassy staff have been relocated to either Islamabad on one side or Tehran on the other, they've been waiting for years for the green light for a visa to be given to those family members to come to France. And with the arrival of the Taliban in Afghanistan, it is looking increasingly difficult for those family members now to be able to be coming to France anytime soon.
All right, Philip Turle, our international affairs editor, speaking to us about those evacuations from Afghanistan.